Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, and here we go. What do these tea leaves have to say tonight? And so our card is the Four of Discs, which is related to power. So that is a very welcomed energy, isn't it? I like to think of the Four of Discs as kind of like being so fortified, having your little fortress kind of put up, the little moat around it, the waters nicely implemented. Everything's kind of, the foundation is all kind of set up, and the elements are in harmony. There's a lot of assurance, structure, stability. It can lead to a sense of a kind of dominating power, right? Feeling like you are ruling over your own kingdom. On the other side of this, though, you know, especially for somebody like a Cancer who kind of goes into themselves anyways, or maybe not all Cancers, but I would say a majority possibly, kind of have a tendency towards solitary comfort, you know, going into the laboratory, working on their projects, their creative endeavors and tinkering and whatever else. And they could do that alone forever, maybe. All right, so let's start right here. We have the house, okay? Next to it, we have a beautiful tree that seems like it has been growing for some years. There are roots put down, and I see that with this house as well. I think that, you know, there's a real sense of being really devoted to your family life, to, you know, the path that you have chosen. You are, you know, you feel happy when you are living in your kind of little microcosm. Do you go out of that little world sometimes? Yeah. Of course, maybe if you work out in the world, or, you know, you have hobbies, interests, you like to travel. But I think really you're just so focused on your projects and your people, right? That, you know, everything kind of is tied into those two things. And I think that's a wonderful thing. You know, if you can make that work for you, there's nothing wrong with that. I have a Cancer husband who's the same way, and it's wonderful because we're both kind of on the same tip, right? We live in our own little world, and we, you know, get to work from home, and it's very nice. And I think that this is not unlike yourself. You feel very activated in your sacred spaces, in your, you know, your little fortress. And it seems like that is steadily built, right? There's a lot of structure in your routine. I feel that you really thrive when things are organized, when they're planned, when you have, your calendar worked out and you kind of know what you're going to be doing. Maybe you have a partner like that. Maybe that's your own, you're learning to kind of do that with your own life. Maybe you've always been like that. So I think that when things kind of go off course a little bit, when you are not kind of planned out, that's when things kind of feel chaotic and your blood pressure's going up and you're feeling like, this is a mess. Got to get back on track. But I don't feel like that's where we're at right now. Okay. So I also see a person walking. Now it kind of looks like a whole animal right here. But when I'm looking at it closer, it looks like a person here holding something. Maybe it almost looks like a sword, but it also looks like they're leading an animal. Okay. And so, to me, I feel like there's a sense of really being in control of the work that you're doing. Okay. I feel like you've put so much into your passions, your business, your career, figuring out how to make some money so you can support the things that you like to do, whatever that is. And I feel like you have really just hit a place in your life where there's a sense of really getting on, right? Like you're really kind of things are working for you. They're going smoothly. They're growing, and it's, it's pretty noticeable. You're gaining traction in whatever, maybe you're getting a raise. You are, you have found something that is, you enjoy doing, that you can also monetize. Make some resources from. It doesn't have to be your main gig, but I think that, it just really has come together. Okay. And in the success, I think you're feeling really connected and confident. I almost kind of feel like before you kind of found the things that you like to do and figured out a way to make some money with it, you kind of just had this idea that okay, I'll just, I do enough to get along. And you have a decent job. You are good at showing up and doing it, and probably very intelligent and capable. But I don't think it necessarily was super fulfilling. Now, you found this other thing that you've been doing. Okay, whatever it is. And, really, it doesn't necessarily have to be bringing in any kind of money. But I think it could also be just creative resources, emotional resources. You feel like you are achieving something. You're good at this and it's fun and people notice. Not that that matters to you, but it kind of feels good, And with this kind of connectedness and this confidence, it's almost like you are glowing, okay? And I feel that, that's it's a very attractive energy. And we have another tree here. And this one looks just as large and happy. And, I just feel like there's so much growth happening. Okay. And you're just emanating that glow, that light. I do see a ship here. Okay, with the sail. And then this over here kind of looks like, and let's see if we can get in there. There you go. This one looks like a little sail, or a little lighthouse. Okay. And I feel like there is this sense of really journeying towards that light. But you are also the light, right? You are, you've had your glow up here. And now that it has begun, it's just kind of getting stronger. I feel like you are really just, finding your pace here. You're really like on a roll. And it feels so nice. I feel like you are really deeply connected, with the family, I think is a big thing, with your maybe significant other, with your friendships. I feel like all in all, it's like you've gotten so much self-esteem out of this relatively small amount of time. And it finally feels like you're doing something that you could master this. This is something that you know about. It comes to you, not necessarily easily because you've worked hard, but it is something that is enjoyable. So it doesn't feel terribly like work. Now, here's the thing, though, and we talk about this a lot, and I talk about this a lot with Cancer because you all love your projects, love your work, love to be busy. And that you have to kind of find a good balance there. So you are taking time to rest, right? Get out of the house. Go for a walk, do some intentional movement, that you're eating well, you're not forgetting to eat, you're drinking water, and, all these things, that you're spending time with the people who you love. I think this is another quality that Cancer can have, and that is that you can love profoundly, but sometimes you do not prioritize being with the people that you love. You get lost in these other things that are going on. And you don't necessarily feel like, because you are immersed in this feeling of love, it feels like you're very close. But the people around you start to feel like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. You're like missing all the time. Where are you? Well, you're probably working, or, you have your projects, you are out doing your things or researching or whatever you do. And so just being mindful that you can't always just live in your mind. How you perceive the world and your interactions aren't necessarily, it's not the same to everybody else, right? So, just to kind of be mindful of that. And sometimes you're just going to have to go through the motions of being there. Even if you love these people, you want to be around them, like your kids maybe, and they have things that they want to do with you. You're thinking about, figuring out something for this job that you're doing or whatever. And, whatever your kids are doing, it's not like the most interesting thing, but sometimes you just have to kind of, take a break from your other stuff and focus on being right there, present with them. And ultimately, I think that, it goes a lot further than you would imagine. So just, something to keep in mind for yourself in this time where you are really coming into that power, that success, that confidence. And, I feel with the boat, not only going towards the lighthouse, but also a sense of kind of moving into another another part of another cycle, right? Basically, I think that this next chapter, you have been on the cusp, but you're kind of going into this next little section of life, right? And I think that you are ready for that. Obviously, we don't have control over kind of the ebb and flow of things, but I think that you're very accepting and open to this transition, and that will make it easier. Will it be a super enjoyable time in your life? I don't know. But I think that with the kind of learned confidence, this power that you have, you're really, I feel like you are feeling very, very activated, self-empowered, but not to the point where it's like, narcissistic or like you're not self-aware. But I think that, it's a nice change of pace for you. Okay. Now, the other thing I kind of see happening here, and I see this person, it looks like they're almost like flying a kite. And then we have, it looks like a bird, maybe eating out of it looks like a flower. And so I feel like with the kite, I feel like, to me, this seems like a period of contemplation and development. And I feel that you are really focused on kind of expanding your efforts. I think that you have been doing so well in the things that you've been working on. You're feeling very inspired and really very motivated and excited to do more, okay? And I think that that's probably going to work out pretty well for you. But I think that, minding that you do not spread yourself too thin, being really conscious of your time management, that's going to be a big thing for you here, okay? And just really making sure that you don't get burnt out. And then with the bird and the flower, I feel like this is kind of almost like a visitation of maybe a past family member, somebody who I don't feel necessarily that you were super close, but somebody who had a striking personality or kind of disposition. I think probably maybe a masculine person, maybe somebody who is a little stern or maybe a little bit, I don't know, eccentric, or maybe as a child they seemed odd to you, but very interesting. Okay, and I feel that as you have gotten older, you have felt a kinship towards them, and even though maybe you didn't spend a lot of time with them, but I think that it's important for you to know that they are still in your life, and they do visit you from time to time. I feel that there's a sense of, enjoy being kind of, the messaging here is to enjoy the fruits of your labor, right? And continue to sow your seeds, okay? Keep working at the things that you love. You found something that you care for, that comes easily to you. It does not necessarily feel like work all the time. And so that's a blessing. That's something that not everybody gets to experience. So I think that, to live in a way where you can honor that great gift, right? And really take care of it, work hard, nurture whatever it is you're doing, if it's a business or your career or creative project or whatever, guard it and nurture it, because again, it is not something that everybody gets to experience in life. Okay. Now this one's interesting. To me, it looks like an M, and it kind of looks like it has wings on it. And I kind of almost think, I think of like an angelic kind of intelligence that has an M name. Okay, so maybe a guardian angel, maybe another family member, a dear friend, somebody who has passed that is looking over you. And this is an M name, okay? And this one, okay, this is beautiful too. From this kind of metaphysical, spiritual, where we get messaging from guardian angels and family members, I see a person kind of sitting and just gazing out at the things going on. I think this has to do so much with this other, with the bird coming to visit. So much to do with kind of this, like you are the pride of your line, really. Very beloved to your ancestors. They are watching you, okay? And, you know, you are kind of guiding your people into great success. And it is not just for you, you know, and or your family unit and your children or child or, you know, fur pet or whatever. This is also the whole line that you come from, which is so many people, right? But I think the thing is, it's not just about financial success or you know, anybody, you know, looking at the artwork you're doing, the music, the, you know, whatever your projects are, and giving you like accolades for it or making a lot of money off of it. But the thing is that you are living your passion, and that is such a great success in itself. Okay, so I think just being in a time where everything is configured in such a way that we have the time and energy to be able to create the things that we want to. It is probably, I would imagine, for our past generations to look at how we are able to live and decide what we want to do would be very emotional for them. I think there is a lot of pride in seeing that we can be so much ourselves and we can do the things that we want to do that are interesting and moving and beloved to us. Okay, so let's also see here. Now this one looks like a flower that it reminds me of a petunia that has gone past its peak. And then they kind of close up and they hang kind of like this, right? And so I feel that at times you have an anxiety that the best is already past, okay? And I think that sometimes you can ruin your own enjoyment by worrying about this. Or that you're too old to try something, you've missed the boat, whatever it is. But I feel like this is a reminder that there's always time. And if you can just get the will to move forward with something, you will find a way. Okay? And it's worth it. It's worthwhile. So, don't give up on the things that you want to do. Continue on, you know, but just take care of yourself and make sure that you are spending time with your people when you can. Okay, because then, you know, ultimately that can be heartbreaking if you look back and you're like, I had all this time that I was doing things that I loved, but I also missed out on a lot with my family and friends and such. So that balance is key. All right. So I'm just going to say thank you. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel get into the algorithm. Any kind of engagement really does. If you want to share the video, watch the video all the way through, watch more than one reading, you know, all these kinds of things. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I read them all, and I try to get back to them as soon as possible. It might take me a day or two, but they do mean so much to me, and I appreciate when people take the time to write something. It just really is very touching and a big reason why I keep doing these readings. So anyhow, I want to thank you again, and we will talk again very soon.